Hi, Clayton. Hey, how are you, Clayton? Good to see you. So, um, you're not audible yet. I am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear all good now, mate. How
Oh
are
yeah,
you?
I can hear you as well. Amazing.
Excellent. Excellent.
Good to see you after so long. Damn, it's been
Good.
like,
It's been a while.
yeah. How have you been?
Yeah, excellent. All good. Can't complain.
Yeah, I've just started a sport consultancy. So I was doing this interview so that we can discuss more about cricket here and cricket in Australia and compare, and it's like a knowledge exchange.
Yep.
So just introducing Clayton as well. It's like for the show. Clayton was my captain at Richmond City Cricket Club, and he was the one who helped me and my friend Akash, and he introduced us to cricket in Australia. And whatever we learned over there about cricket was from because of him, because he introduced us. He introduced us to the club, and thank you for that, Clayton.
No, my pleasure.
Yeah. So like I wanted to know, like firstly, how's it been going? Like how's the club?
Yeah, the club's going from strength to strength. So we had a few good years with you guys out here when you were studying, and a lot of those bonds have continued, and yeah, the club's continued to grow. We've won two premierships since then, so
Wow.
the club's grown, and yeah, it's been a good development.
And I see a lot, like you guys are a very inclusive club. You guys always have like people from other cultures also merging in. So I see a lot of Sri Lankan players, obviously. And has that been the case in the recent times?
Yeah, it's always been the club's culture that everyone's welcome, and we like that melting pot of lots of different cultures there. And I think that's what team sport's all about. Lots of people from different cultures, different backgrounds, people of different ages, from different parts of society. And if you can get those groups to gel together, it's only a good thing for the club, but also for the players.
Yeah, 100%. So there's a big difference that I noticed, like when we play here, obviously in India, the structure and the competitions are not really clear. So you don't understand where you kind of belong and how you kind of move forward. So as like as a growing cricketer, as when you're a kid, you're focused on your performances, but you kind of don't know how to move up the hierarchy and actually reach to the top. So, what kind of advice do you have? Like, say, someone who's like growing up in Melbourne or like in Australia somewhere. How do they navigate their way through the cricketing system as a cricketer?
Yeah, okay. Well, there's a pretty set, clear pathway here in Australia. Um, and that sort of moves from junior cricket all the way through to different academies, and but my area is community cricket, and that's the area that I'm able to talk about. I'm not experienced in premier cricket or state cricket or any of the high elite levels, but the role that community cricket plays is to number one is about participation, having a place for everyone to play. So we've always got lots of grades. So the way our men's program works is we'll have four senior teams.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome at the start of the season, and then each team is picked each week on performance, availability. So you've definitely got the ability to move up and down the ranks in once
Yeah.
you're in a club system. And I think that works really well rather than having people in set positions. You've got ability to move up if you're performing, or move down if you're out of form. Um,
It's a yeah, I mean like when we were there as well, it was like always based on your performances and your merit. So that was really nice. And like the availability of grounds is also quite nice. I mean, here we in Mumbai we share one ground and like we have several pitches on the same ground. Whereas like in Australia you get your own pitch, which is really like a really nice way to play. And like it's more peaceful that way.
Yeah, it is. We're very lucky with our facilities here. We've got you've pretty much got one oval with then a large wicket in the middle. So we're not often do we have that situation where we're sharing we're sharing grounds. If you represent that club, that's your oval for the season. You'll play home and away matches. But yeah, we're certainly blessed with lots of space here in Australia,
Yeah.
and lots of great facilities. So we're definitely blessed with that.
And I think like a lot of people also are kind of interested in coming over there to get the experience like for a year or so to play in those conditions and from here. So yeah, like I've been navigating in that space as well. And what do you think like is it possible, like do you have any idea about the visas that people been
Yeah,
dealing?
it's we've been dealing with the visas. Unfortunately, things have really tightened up over the last 18 months.
Okay.
The Australian government, there used to be this the 408 sporting visa that allowed people to come in to Australia with various letters of approval and join an Australian club. But that 408 sporting visa has sort of been tightened up. The restrictions on that now sort of state that you need to be playing at a Premier level and you
Oh
need to
yeah.
have played list day or first class back home. So
List A or
I can
first
share a
class.
bit on that if you'd like.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely got tighter. We're very fortunate to have some guys come over from Sri Lanka, as well after you guys, after you headed back home, Pratik, and that was fantastic for the club. But unfortunately, just with this 408 visa, it's definitely become tighter because we're at community level, and they're now only allowing people to play straight into Premier level, which is a real professional sort of level in Australia, and the step down from state cricket. So they're sort of only allowing people to come in on that level, not the community level.
So what's the hierarchy in like state level and the club level, the premier you mentioned,
Yeah, so I
do they
can.
have like four teams or
Yeah, they generally have 14. There's a bit of a diagram I can share if you got sharing available. The reason why cricket in Australia is great is because of the pathway system.
okay.
And what we found is people coming through junior cricket, just like they do in India with various academies and school programs. But then when you get to adult level, we've got community cricket where you can join the club, like I said earlier, but you can play as an adult. It's not linked to a school. It's not linked to a class of people or a subclass. It's open to anyone in that community to play. And that's that community level where we play. So you can really just thrive in that area. And then if you perform well, you can go on and play Premier Cricket if you wanted to. And then from Premier Cricket, that's where things get really serious and then
For
into
the
the more
state.
professional levels. Um, mm.
Yeah. But so there's this weird thing. Okay, so this is the hierarchy, but then people who get scouted for say the T20 leagues, that's just is it just random based on talent or like because for these big bash leagues and stuff, T20 works differently in Australia, I've noticed.
Yeah, it does. It's definitely a lot of those players from the Big Bash would come out of the state sort of emerging players leagues and the state contracted players, and then they would top up with I think it's 3 internationals per team maybe in the Big Bash.
Okay.
Um, so you do get there are some people that come across and get those Big Bash contracts. There are also some people that come out here that may not have a Big Bash contract and they played locally in Australia for a Premier club and they're sort of on standby for a Big Bash team. So
Yeah.
in those periods where the Big Bash, it competes with the South African League at the moment. So in those periods, they might be searching for an overseas player that's maybe already here in Australia. It makes it a lot easier if you're already here playing in the Australian system for a Premier club, performing there. You can go up, and that's as we were speaking earlier. The Australian way is definitely to promote people depending on talent and performance. So they're sort of here waiting for their opportunity.
Yeah, I think one of our players from the club as well got a bit of a chance at Melbourne Renegades, was it for the like Ankit, I think.
Yeah, so that was a great opportunity. Ankit, who could come across here to study at one of the local universities here, he
Yeah.
found us through a cash, your good friend, and then he played for us for well, it must have been 4 or 5 years, performed really well, won bowling awards, won a club championship, and then last year he went on to play Premier Cricket.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, while he was playing for us, there was an opportunity for the Melbourne Renegades they opened up one spot on their training camp And yeah, he was lucky enough to go along to that and try out for it. Unfortunately, he didn't get that one spot, but he still had the
Yeah.
opportunity to train with the best of the Renegades, and
But it's
he
still
loved
a
that
dream.
experience.
Yeah, it's still a dream. I mean, coming to Australia and getting the best experience, it's
Hmm.
insane. And so, I mean, that's the hierarchy, right? But is there some like favoritism in terms of which states do players come from? Mainly in Australia, like I heard somewhere that New South Wales has a lot of like players are a lot more selected or preferred from New South Wales. Is that a thing?
A lot of people would think so. A lot of people say so, but it's a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a just
Oh,
a
it's
running a running
oh, okay.
a running gag that if you get your New South Wales cap, you'll get your Australian cap not too long after. But look, the Australian team, it goes in mixes at the moment. There's not too many from Victoria where I'm from, but there's
Cameron
Marnus and
White.
from Queensland, and there's lots of people from all around from Queensland or WA. Um, it's a mix, and it goes in runs.
Okay, so it's yeah. So yeah, I mean, I obviously I wouldn't be able to differentiate between just a joke and like oh I the people tell me in Australia and I believe it.
There might be some truth to it, but I'm sure they do pick on merit.
Yeah, and what's the other thing? I mean, I noticed in while I was there that Australians really love their Test cricket, and
Yeah.
there's a little bit of refraining from the T20, although you guys are really good at it, but still, like the love for Test cricket is trumps everything.
Yeah, it's something that's ingrained in us when we're very young that Test cricket is the most important.
Yeah,
Um, So without a doubt, it's the most popular form of cricket here. The big series versus the Ashes, and then when we play India, they're the biggest series. That's what everyone wants to watch and play. Unfortunately, there's not as many great Test series anymore as what there used to be, and it's sort of only when we play India, especially in India, that's always a great one to watch.
yeah,
But yeah, it'd be the Test cricket's in a bit of a scary spot at the moment, I think, with T20 cricket and the franchise models and people owning sides and then owning sides in other countries and I think the game really is splitting into two lots of players maybe, and I sort of don't know where ODI cricket's going to go. I think one format probably needs to surrender.
yeah. I think
So
ODI would be the one just going out of balance. It seems like it.
it could be. I know there's still a great interest in TV money, and ODI plays for a number of hours, so you're getting a lot more advertising. So from a financial standpoint, it makes sense. But I think I'd probably let ODI go, or perhaps maybe international cricket shouldn't be in T20. Maybe they should leave T20 to the
Yeah,
franchises
that's
and
also a good idea.
and keep the players fresh that way. Because I don't think you can play three formats these days.
Yeah.
Um,
The schedule of the cricketers is really hectic, especially in India. Like they're just expected to just be playing cricket and like they're treated as a commodity. And I mean, recently a lot of the players have had mental health issues and like dropped out of the main team and just like not cared about their contracts. Like players like Ishan Kishan, Shreyas Iyer, these guys were in playing for India, and then they just like couldn't keep up with the matches and couldn't keep up with the constant wear and tear. So like they just took a break and they didn't turn up for Ranji and weren't selected for this T20 World Cup, which India happened to win. So
mm,
it's a little bit
yeah.
sad.
You can't do everything. The players are being pushed and pulled from a lot of directions, and you probably just got to prioritize what's your format, what's most important to you, and stick to that. I don't know. Yeah, often we're seeing the Australian team maybe in two different parts of the world these days. There'll be a T20
Yeah.
series going on, and that's very new for cricket and very new for Australia. I don't think the current model's sustainable. So some big decisions need to be made.
That's true. And what in the local or in the club cricket in Australia, like it's a suggestion or I don't know why, but Australia in every aspect, I noticed this one thing that people in Australia were not really, Instagram obsessed, or like not about the glamour. They're just like real people, you know. And you know, like there was no kind of like, you know, there's no showboating. It's all amongst the mates maybe, but like not just like there, nobody's like uh too much like about sharing it with the world. Is that a thing? What do you think about that?
Um, well, that's yeah, I agree with that. But some of the younger players are very much about
Is
the
that
Instagram, the
changing?
showboating. So we're seeing that come in, and a lot of the celebrations and things
Oh
are
yeah.
very fresh. But in general, I would say Australian sporting teams have um, your teammates will keep you in check. If you get ahead of yourself
Yeah.
or you get a big head, your teammates will bring you back to earth pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was wondering, that you know, in our football games, like I also played soccer in for Richmond, so there were these like recordings. Everything was recorded. Does that happen now in cricket, or is it not happening yet?
Yeah, a lot of Frog Boxes is the brand of video camera that our club's purchased over the off season. So we'll be showing our games live online via Frogbox.
No, really?
So yeah, that's going to be it's a good development. A lot of clubs are doing it, and it's just one camera set up at your ground. It links up to the platform that looks up to the online scoring, so the scores
That's,
pop up, and
yeah,
yeah, that's good, especially for people that might be supporting the club or interested in the club like yourself,
yeah,
Pratik, and want to
yeah.
watch from back home, or past players that may not live in the local area, they might live somewhere else. So yeah, look out for
That's
that because it's
that's
a
an
good thing.
exciting development. Like when I was there, I was just like, why are my sixes not getting recorded? So
Yeah, well, exactly. You need once you record it, you can do the highlights and all the rest. So it's
exactly.
definitely a new world, and you'll probably just you come over about 3 years too early, Pratik.
Oh. But no, I mean, I'll try to come back again for a season, but you know, it all depends on the visa. But yeah,
Yeah.
but also that was one thing I definitely wanted to like share, that about the recording, and I'm glad that's happening. I remember My Cricket is the scoring app, or the scoring where all the scores are put up. So that was
Yeah, which is another it's now Play Cricket, so another
okay.
company's taken over, but it's basically the same thing. So everyone scores from around Australia online. No one can alter their average or anything like that.
Oh,
It's all
before people could alter the average.
maybe in the old days they could people
Oh
would get rid of a few
yeah.
ducks, but now it's all there for everyone to see. So that helps also greatly with recruiting players and seeing how people perform. The stats are all there online, and the stats don't lie.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, there's just like like one last thing that I wanted to like touch base on, that you know, in community cricket, or in just like facility maintenance management, or in just the running of like this whole structures, and you know, cricket in Australia, like where do like you think you need more support in general, like for like students coming to Australia to study? People are still from India very much interested in coming to Australia to study, to play. Where do you feel like you guys need support?
Um, the clubs are not for profit, so they're a community organization. They're not owned by anyone. Everyone pays their subs, and those subs go towards paying for the grounds and for the curation of the turf wickets and the club rooms and all and everything. So everyone pays their way here. But definitely facilities, we need to keep them high class so you can play good games of cricket, not be washed out. We need good covers because it does rain here. Everyone thinks Australia is sunny and all the time, but it does rain here. So you need covers, you need and the preparation of the wickets is important. So with the cost of living crisis that's happening everywhere, we just need to make sure that the governments and the local councils look after the local clubs because it's the local clubs that are keeping people in a community and active, which is really important for everyone's health. So that's why our community club system here in Australia is great because it just keeps, students come here and then they meet a whole new group of friends, join a club in cricket. And it doesn't have to be cricket, it might be soccer, like you mentioned earlier. But I think for anyone who's studying here in Australia, definitely find your local club in whatever sport you love, and just join up, and you'll meet new friends. And yeah, it's very good for your networking and for your own skills. And I'm sure you'll have a better time out here if you yeah join a local cricket club and get active.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's great catching up with you, mate. Like it's been like years, and I mean, I hope we can actually play a game sometime soon, you know. It'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be great.
And how's
We'll
your
have to record your sixes this time.
yes, yeah, that'll be fun. How's your form been like recently? And have you
Yeah,
been
we
bowling
had a
those
yeah,
like
still bowling the loopy leg spin, so still bowling them. Getting old, so still playing as long as I can and enjoying it. And yeah, we won the premiership last year, so
amazing,
yeah,
congratulations. Yeah, lucky. I mean, I was a little bit too early. I kind of missed a title win
yeah. But
right
you need
after I
people
left.
there to set things up and start things off. And it was unfortunate you had to go home, but Akash was able to stay a few more years,
Yeah,
and then it's just the way sport goes. It's about timing a lot of the time.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, then maybe I'll time my next move perfectly.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah. Great chatting with you, mate. Thanks for doing this, and I hope to see you soon.
No worries. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.